I'll second.
Motion's moved by Judy, seconded Danny. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And public comments. Anyone wish to address the board? Beth?
Good morning, Commissioners. Beth Reedy from Money Creek. The last time I was here, I talked to you about my concern about our, and I mean that in a collective sense, our not doing anything about climate change in Houston County, and I told you it was because I was concerned about Harry. Okay, this is Harry. He's 2. And I suspect you all have Harrys in your life. You've got children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, neighbors. You've all got Harrys in your life who are going to be affected by climate change. So I'm going to suggest today that you set up 3 study committees to begin the process of looking at climate change in Houston County. I'm going to suggest you do it. You make the motion initial movement today. I think there should be a commissioner on each study committee, and I think you should ask each committee to report back to you, the board, by the beginning of June about where the county goes from here. I think most of the committee members should be citizens of Houston County. I suggest 3 committees. 1 on agriculture and forestry, because that's the economic bedrock of the county. I suggest 1 on health, and I mean that in the widest possible sense, human health, the health of our livestock, the health of our soils, our waters, okay, the whole ecosphere. And the 3rd one on conservation and renewable energy, so that we try to start thinking about how we can conserve our use of fossil fuels at the same time that we're looking to how can we shift in the county in a reasonable way to renewable energy. So I'm going to ask you today, please, for my Harry and your Harry, all of your Harrys, set up those 3 study committees so that we can get going. Today, please.
Anyone else? Sir?
Sarah Wexlerman, Yucatan Township. I just have a request that the board today during unfinished business frac sand issue updates provide us with an update of what's going on with the moratorium in Houston County. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right.
Did you all get a letter in the mail?
Oh, yeah.
On the study agreement?
That was one thing I was going to bring up this morning too. I brought it up to committee this morning. We have another study group, ordinance study group committee, meeting next Monday night, the 23rd, 7 o'clock across the hall here. And I wanted to bring up to the county board here the issue of per diems for the planning commission and the board of adjustment when they come and attend these extra meetings. It's additional work that they're doing for the county. The per diems that they get paid, to come to meetings typically has been for a zoning meeting. Planning commission comes to meetings to act on conditional use permits, for instance. Board of Adjustment acts on variances and appeals, and they have a set per diem to come to these meetings to do the background work, homework, to inform themselves on the issues at hand. And this is extra work atop above and beyond what they've been doing with the regular monthly meetings, is to look through the ordinance changes that have been proposed, do some background work, checking in on information and coming back to these monthly meetings with informed ideas and ways, directions to go with that study group. So I was gonna see if the board would approve per diems for these extra meetings and the work they've been doing at the same rate they've been getting for their regular monthly meetings. Planning Commission gets $100 per meeting. Board of Adjustment gets $85. And so I wanted to, with the guidance of the committee this morning, they said bring it up to the county board.
My thinking, is, for the public meetings per diem, at $100, I think is probably just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
What about a little less on the study committees, where you're not really
Okay.
being grilled
Maybe like 50
like
or
you would
something
be?
or what?
What's that?
Getting like 50 or something or what?
65? I don't know, listen,
What do we get?
everybody, yeah, let's
We
lob it out
get, we
there.
get 40.
40,
maybe.
40.
We could go with what the board
What do
gets
we
for
get?
an additional meeting outside of
Yeah.
the normal.
I think whatever we get.
Yeah.
That makes sense. They've got costs of mileage,
trans-
fuel, and
yeah.
everything to be
Yeah.
there, so.
And they're doing some house cleaning items that if needed to be done, that I'm glad they're doing, so.
Bob, would they get a per diem like for them? We went out and visited the site yesterday. Yesterday we.
Mileage.
Planning and zoning went out to look at the site.
Yeah, they don't get
They had
mileage.
their own time.
Yeah, it's just, I just doubled that up with last night. I didn't charge or didn't add per
Well,
diem
just
for
wondering if
that.
that's what you're asking for.
No,
No, just for that study.
just the study group,
Study.
I guess, yeah. That's kind of why we schedule it on the same day as the public hearing, so we wouldn't have to.
That makes-
And they don't get mileage.
I don't know. They don't get mileage?
No, because
Then I
they
say
get per
we
diem.
should do
They get,
$50.
So they haven't gotten mileage for many years, I think, because the per diem helps cover the cost of the.
Yeah, the transportation.
I think $50 is a reasonable amount since they don't get mileage.
Yeah, what do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I think that's certainly good.
Mhm.
Better than zero, because, they put a lot of effort.
Right,
So-
right.
This is
yeah.
something we need done.
Just the one meeting I was at, a lot of good discussion, a lot of good ideas. These guys are,
Right, they're pressing forward here,
Yeah.
they're doing their homework and coming in with some good ideas.
there's a good knowledge base there.
Yep.
So do you want to make the motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve a $50 per diem for the study committee.
Okay, motion by Steve,
I'll second it.
seconded by Judy. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thanks, Bob. Carol? Say that again?
On ordinance, I guess on our ordinance change.
Oh, do you want to talk to Bob about that quick?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Carol, hang tight one second.
Yeah, just hang in there. Consent agenda. Regarding term limits, I guess I'm a little reluctant as leaping in like we have and losing the experience that's out there. I've only been to a couple of meetings, but I've seen nothing but professionalism and good come out of the group. And I hate to just up and lose them. Like with a sudden turnover. Can we kind of ease into this somehow?
I think we're only losing one this year, right?
One, I think it's going on.
I think if we move the date from the 31st December to the 1st, it slows up the process a little bit. There won't be quite as many.
31st to the 1st of.
Isn't that right, Bob?
Yeah, the problem is it's already in the ordinance, it was adopted, and so we have
That
to.
would slow it up. You wouldn't have quite as many coming next.
But we could readdress it through you guys'
Study group.
study group.
Mhm.
I think you need to look at it in the study group because
Yeah.
we did make a mistake with the one per district where Judy doesn't
Right.
need anybody from her district,
Yeah.
And also,
The precedent.
I did get a couple calls from La Crescent Township because they would have to follow our ordinance.
Right.
And they're just happy to get what they can get.
Yeah. they're looking
On that
for people.
report. So they want us to at least look at that when you do your study group.
Yep,
And then when we have the public hearing,
maybe look at some.
have some
possible change.
recommendations.
And
Okay.
also the Board of Adjustment, is that
Right, they fall under the
We
same.
didn't address that on term limits,
Right,
but they should be.
they follow the same as planning
I think
commission.
we need to look at.
There is one, the alternate is up on there this year, and so we've been looking for someone to fill that position too.
And have you talked to like Bruce is going up to the planning commission, so if you'd want to fill in on the board of adjustments or anything?
I can ask them.
I'm just thinking, because it's kind of, the board of adjustments is, and I don't know if all of you know kind of what the board of adjustments does or what they are, which is kind of another entity that doesn't answer to the county board. They're their own entity. So it would be nice if you had somebody from, kind of a nice transition as somebody from the planning commission, then you can go on to the board of adjustments and all,
He's a good man.
Yeah, that's just, it's an opportunity that, but anyway.
Another thing, there is, someone on the board of adjustment has to be from the planning commission as well, so. it has to-
And it's
Garland Moore is that
Yep,
person right now.
he's been doing it for a while, yeah.
He'll be up next year, his term is up, so just something to think about. So. But no, that's a good idea. I'll certainly bring that up Monday, study group. We'll look at some changes, so.
Yeah, we had to do some modifications.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks,
Bob, that one sheet you sent us, you were marking up about the ordinance changes?
Oh, yeah.
That was just a draft. That wasn't what we passed. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh,
That was Teresa, it was your sheet with all the numbers. Remember that first draft you had? It was all the graphic, grammar, all the
Yeah,
grammar.
oh, yeah.
You were marking up that one. That isn't what we ended up with.
I thought I got enough minutes, but maybe.
It was much more cleaner. than
Okay.
what we passed,
All right.
Yeah.
so. I know we had to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay, no,
Really.
yeah.
All right, thanks, Bob. Now, Carol. Unfinished. Frac sand issue updates.
Did we finish
I
the
do,
consent agenda?
I can talk. Oh, what did you say, Jim?
Yeah, we have to approve it, I guess,
We
yeah.
started the consent
Yep.
agenda, but we never finished it.
Okay.
We got through everything and we had discussion with Bob and I think we got on the same page now with that.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Moved by Steve,
I'll say.
seconded by Dana.
Everybody got it?
Three.
I'll second.
Seconded by Dana. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Unfinished. Frac sand issue updates, and Sarah had asked about the,
I can give you a little bit of update on that. I passed out everything that, I went to one of the sessions that AMC was on, it was on
Jay.
frac sand issue, and it was Jay speaking, so I brought you each a handout on that. And I also talked to him about our moratorium, and he said to have Rick get hold of him, and he will write it up for us, be effective through March of 2015. So we're gonna do that.
Another year extension.
Moratorium.
Yep.
And we'll probably do it in January, pass it and stuff, because it'll have to be a public hearing.
Yep.
So we can do it at this meeting, but a public hearing.
Yep.
So, and also, as you see in there, we have to have three, in order to have a moratorium, you have to show that you are working on the ordinance.
You gotta be doing
or
something.
You have to,
Studying.
you have to justify it. So, and I did hand that out to everybody too. So,
There
but
needs to be some
anyway,
kind
he
of a-
said he would
yeah.
write it up.
Yeah, some kind of a scorecard, I guess, as to where we're going, what we're doing, and so on.
So we can plan on doing that in January.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Highway Department building repair costs.